Hey everybody, welcome to this week's Star Report. This is Jason here at New Dimensions Crystals and Reiki in downtown Brandon, Texas. Oh my goodness, I'm not on the right page. Today's report is for October the 29th through November the 4th, 2025. And as usual, we step right in, start right up, get going with our sun, which is our closest star. And the sun has continued large flaring off the backside, so nothing Earth directed. So that's a good thing. But that large flaring off the backside as it continues to charge extra protons. So you might be feeling a lot of energy in the space. And if you're able to channel that energy, you could be feeling invigorated. And there shouldn't be, since it's off the backside with all that extra energy, there shouldn't be a whole lot of tech slowdown. So you don't need to necessarily worry about that. But if you do have some hiccups, that is probably the cause. There is currently arriving, starting yesterday, a coronal hole stream. That's the dark spot on the sun, which sends out a plasma stream. And that started reaching the Earth yesterday into this morning. So it came a little slower than expected, and it's also a little weaker. So it's not causing a whole lot of geomagnetic storms in the atmosphere. But always with coronal hole streams, there is the uptick in tectonic activity and or earthquakes. So if you live close to where that is, pay attention to that. So yeah, that's actually kind of a good thing that the storm, either the sun was sending a weaker stream or there's some kind of temporary, probably, recovery in the Earth's protective field. So that's good. We are currently in the zodiac of Scorpio. And of course, the zodiac helps us to correspond alchemically to the physical form and moves throughout the body. And so Scorpio is arranging stuff off camera. Scorpio is for our sexual organs and glands. So increased sex drive might be a thing, um, which is why there's so many kids in the spring or in the summertime, 9 months from now. So pay attention to that. Sometimes, if you are the worrying type, that's a good word. If you're the worrying type, maybe extra attractions other than the ones you're involved in might surface. So pay attention to that and mind your P's and Q's. We are currently in 4 retrogrades. Neptune, which is really sort of an inward journey. Who are we? What is this intuition? So it's heightened intuition. So you sort of expand into extrasensory kind of stuff. And that's going to be in retrograde until December 10th of this year. Also, Saturn is in retrograde, and Saturn is really about redefining our career. Go figure. Um, there are careers afoot changing. It's just the nature of the universe, and then Saturn helps us with that, right? And so uh, Saturn kind of provides structure and a little bit of inspiration to go ahead and continue to do that. And really, Saturn is helping us align with our ability to to trust in divine timing. And that's going to be in retrograde till almost the end of the month, November the 27th of 2025. We are currently also in Chiron retrograde. Chiron is going to be really about expanding our self worth. A lot of times people think. A lot of times people think that Chiron corresponds with the heart, and so this is sort of recognizing and releasing old patterns, right? And so really the mind sort of filters reality, and then the heart takes that trigger and then electromagnetically through the iron content in the blood distributes your belief system into your physical form, which is how they understand that spiritual energy starts to cause physical maladies. So pay attention to that energy. And so that recognizing and releasing old patterns is a good thing. Like, oh, here's a pattern and it's old or it's not working for me anymore, and I just recognize it's a pattern, so I can change it. That is going to be Chiron is going to be in retrograde until January 3rd of 2026. So you got that for a couple more months, and then Uranus is in retrograde. And Uranus is really allowing for the possible, expanding your idea what it means to be human, right? Rather than there's special beings or there's divine beings. It's kind of realizing the divinity in us all, and that even if you happen to be a professional, psychic, energy healer, all that kind of stuff, that's not necessarily somebody that's pulled out and chosen, that it's a human capability. So a lot of times Uranus helps us sort of come into that. Uranus also helps us to become more flexible, right? So, spirit, you always, a lot of mystics will say that spirit is like water, right? So it moves into the spaces that's allowing it, right? So, what you really want to be is a space that allows the spirit to drive. So that's fun stuff. That'll be in retrograde until February the 4th of 2026. So you got a while to just go with the flow, man. Let the spirit lead. I got the curly hair today, so I'm a little, yeah, little hippie. All right, so it moves us into today, Wednesday, the 29th of October. And the energy of the day, especially because I'm Mercury and its effect on us or its alignment in the stars today, is really about being direct is key. So say what you mean, do what you want. Direct, yeah. So Mercury is in a challenging alignment with Uranus, and so that sort of energy is allowing us to sort of have breakthroughs in our perception, and really that perception is of our higher self, right? This is time doesn't matter, never too late kind of energy, um, and really sort of the freeing of the mind, like, oh, here's my training, here's where I'm located, yada yada yada. So here's what I can do. This kind of energy is like quit limiting yourself with human burnt and saying I'm this small or I'm this big. Like you could be bigger. All right, fun times of Wednesday. Sounds like a good day today. Can't wait to open the shop after I get done talking on the computer. Leads us into tomorrow, Thursday, the 30th, uh, which puts us almost exactly a week away from the largest super full moon of the year. And I think it's the second super full moon. And so the energy just starts to trigger and ramp up until we hit the super full moon next week, I think, Tuesday or Wednesday. Um, yeah, ramps up our emotions and begin. So you just sort of figure like, hey, man, I'm super emotional. And that doesn't mean to be out of control emotions. That didn't even have to be like tears. That could be joy. That's just sort of like the emotional drive is ramping up. Jupiter and Saturn are aligned to sort of construct a spirituality. Uh, how you'll sort of feel that it'll sort of feel like invigorating. If you're getting your solar time or you sit outside at night, a lot of times you'll receive that energy through light codes, and that frequency is really sort of just, hey, how can I live more on purpose, right? And so purpose is paramount. Like, what am I doing here? What, and just sort of make a plan or sort of realize that everything that's prequel to that is preparing you for your purpose. Yeah, leads us into Friday, Halloween. Everybody gets a sugar high and don't get too high on the sugar. Sugar's bad for the body, I've heard. And so, yeah, just sort of pay attention to that. A lot of times, even if it isn't about the cosmic alignment of the day, it's the group consciousness of Halloween and the thinning of the veil. And also, the moon is really going to be highlighting, especially during this Halloween, the power of all the challenges, right? So this is really about what formed you. So you might have some highlights or epiphanies about that. And also about how we chose to be here, right? So by listening as much as or as frequently as possible to soul's guidance, right? You're here by choice. So you might be getting understandings of why you chose to be in your situation. Uh, the energy of the day is also a sense of freedom is increasing. Like I actually can do this. I'm not stuck. I'm not limited. I'm not constrained. And you want to start to feel that, especially over the next couple of days into Dia de los Muertos on the first, that you're really being made new, right? So you want to feel almost like a rebirth kind of thing. Leads us into Saturday, 11/1. November the 1st, the 111 gateway, right? So 111 is really about mastery and the energy to actually choose and do stuff. Chiron and Venus are going to be aligned in the skies to sort of really give us a heart opening, right? So if we're starting to tick up with the coming of the super full moon, with the emotions, right? This heart opening is another thing, right? And so that's really where your heart can shift your reality. And you can sort of feel this when you're around people that have open hearts, that you feel better in their presence and stuff like that. So yeah, heart opening, and oh yeah, and then also you might feel like a heart upgrade, like your heart can have more, right? That it's not so burnt out, that it's not so pessimistic. Yeah, that sounds like a good Saturday. Um, and then really the energy of that is that you get a different master rather than the mind. The soul really starts to be authoritative, right? You start to act upon the soul's direction, or you have the potential to. You could just sit there and go, I don't know, maybe. But if you were to choose to do such things, then that's an opportunity to do that on Saturday. Sunday, the 2nd of November, the moon and Venus continue to work on you. And really on Sundays about transmuting all the negativity, why you can't, or why you would want to in a world that's going crazy, right? So all of the naysaying stuff of that, you get to transmute that into a sort of a positive thing. It's like, hey, if all this is crumbling, why not build something completely new or be somebody completely awesome and let my soul take me where I need to go. I'm feeling a little wonky today. What an interesting report this is. You should send this to all your friends. Monday leads into Monday, the 3rd of November. Venus and Jupiter are going to be opposing each other. Venus is really going to be allowing you to sort of trust yourself, and Jupiter pushes you to expand, right? So it's that sort of give and take, right? Hey, I trust myself this big, but Jupiter is like, you could be bigger, you could do more. Um, and then one of the benefits of this is as it causes you to expand, sometimes it's like, I can't expand anymore, I'm out of energy. Really, Jupiter will highlight where you might be overextending yourself, like, so Jupiter's gonna be like, you don't got to do that anymore. And so you might want to listen to that on Monday, and everybody gets a case of the Mondays, even this guy. And so the sort of theme of the energy is sort of take back your life, right? You're in charge, not your calendar. You're in charge, not your job. You're in charge, not your obligations, kind of thing. Are you doing what you love is the question you might want to ask yourself. Or could you love what you're doing better? Or could you make what you're doing lovable? Not to say that you just got to close everything down and move to a new town, but hey, that might work. Tuesday, the 4th of November is going to be just, yeah, so it is Wednesday where the super full moon comes. Just 24 hours from the super full moon, closest all year. Mars is really going to be giving you the drive to act, right? So Mars is, sometimes we think about God of War kind of stuff, but Mars is really the motivation, the vigor, the I can fucking do that kind of energy to do it. So pay attention to that. I'll say action becomes easy, but action becomes easier. So if you're doing all this navel gazing over the weekend and all this energy shifting and you're finding out what your heart really says, then by Tuesday you're like, I can fucking do this. Let's fucking go. I feel like Tom Brady. Let's fucking go. Anyway, this is an odd report, but I'm going to keep going. Also on Tuesday, you'll begin to be able to see in the northern hemisphere, which I presume most of us are in the northern hemisphere that is watching this, but maybe not. Maybe somebody's hanging out in South America or south of the equator. But in the northern hemisphere, if you look towards Taurus, I'm a Taurus. If you look towards Taurus, the Taurid meteor showers should be becoming visible, and I think they're peaking sometime next week. But definitely, you should be able to start to see them basically from sundown if you're in a dark enough space to sunrise. And you should be getting about 7 meteors an hour. And those that meteor shower in particular was caused from a comet breakup. around 30,000 years ago, right? And so there's all of this ancient knowledge and epiphanies and higher mind things, right? So if you sort of believe that we're in a constructed reality and that we might have been some kind of different human in the distant past, right? Because most history in ancient societies were going about 6,000 years ago. So this is 30,000 years ago. So that energy will be coming onto the planet. And so you want to look for increased sort of dream work. Epiphanies are definitely a big thing. But you want to think that 30,000 years ago, the arc of DNA, right, which is it's a shape which broadcasts energy and charge. And then through the mitochondria, which is also about shape and charge, the DNA remembers all of that data, right? So it's kind of like melanin in the physical form, right? It filters out light, but it filters it out by collecting it. So all the data which is in light, if everything is light, then we're going to have that ancientness sort of turned up in us, and that'll be over the couple of days until it peaks. So sort of pay attention to that. And then Taurus is really sort of a steady thing, right? So it's, hey, here's this continuation of humanity locked in our DNA that's continued on through cataclysm, through cultures, right? So I don't want to say it's going to give you an instance not to worry, but it's going to give you this idea that you're a divine eternal soul worthy of love and affection and you're never going to die. And therefore, you have this information and you are of the lineage of things that didn't get wiped out. So you're a survivor already. So that's a good energy to have. I believe I will be out of the shop. So I'll close early because we're going to trick or treating on Friday. So I think I'm going to close maybe by 2, but maybe by 4 p.m. on Friday. And then I'll be out of the shop on Saturday. So if you need to get some tools for the spiritual weekend, come today, Wednesday, or tomorrow, Thursday, or in between 11 and 2 on Friday to make sure that you get your stuffs and things. And hopefully I'll have it in stock. Um, I don't suspect a big run and to be out of things, but you never know. I am open to the possibilities because I listened to my own report. But anyway, that's the report for this week. Until next week, everybody. Ooh, I'm going to find the little button that says stop and I'm going to say many blessings.